Welcome to the Ross Patterson Revolution! So I'm out in L.A. with my good buddy Jared Taylor, and we got a chance to interview one of our favorite actresses, Alanna Ubach. You might know her from Meet the Fockers and Waiting, All the Legally Blondes, Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce. She was on Beekman's World, for Christ's sakes. I mean, dipping way back into the day, and it was one of our favorite interviews. So we're gonna do a crossover with it and bring it on here because we had so much fun with her. That being said, we got some sponsors who pay for this whole shit to be on the air. First up, we got StraightRazors.com. StraightRazors.com is the finest shaving kits you will ever have in your entire life. There is no need to ever get another shaving kit from anywhere else. Dollar Shave is bullshit. Makes your face feel like shit. It's bumpy. You're in for a long road with that one. I don't know if you remember Manuel Noriega, the dictator from Panama, but that's what your face will look like if you use any other razor but StraightRazors.com. StraightRazors.com also has, let's say you're nervous about using a straight razor. Go and fucking fire up a safety razor. Those are easy as shit, and it's a nice way to get started, and you'll find out that you've got one of the finest shaves you'll ever have. It'll knock about a day and a half off your shaving. That's no BS from the man himself. They've also got the number one ranked cologne in the world, the number one ranked aftershave. It's called Smolder, and it would make the best holiday gift with the holidays coming up for that bro and or father in your life. Maybe a weird cousin you don't give a shit about. Go to straightrazors.com, type in the promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. No lie, man, this will be one of the best purchases you ever make in your life. Go to straightrazors.com, use the promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. Next up, we've got ledbyiron.com. That's LEDBYIRON.com. ledbyiron.com. Man, they got some sweet-ass teas there. Boss. Big fan of them. They're 100% first responder owned, and they're a fitness apparel company. Look, the t-shirts are also just cool enough to wear out in fucking public every goddamn day. You probably see me on my Instagram at STJames, rocking these fucking things all the time. They've got a thin red line shirt and a thin blue line shirt. They've also got some fucking dope ass tank tops for the ladies to work out in. They're not all fucking baggy and shit either, so it's not like dudes made these and they were like, oh hey man, I know what a woman fits like. It's not true. These are actually, like, my wife wears these every goddamn day. So go to ledbyiron.com, get yourself some sweet teas. They've also got some dope ass hats. And I've been rocking their water bottle at the gym every fucking day. Big fan of ledbyiron.com. Use the promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. Last but not least, we got StrikeForceEnergy.com. StrikeForceEnergy.com. You know them, you love them. They should be a part of your life now. If you're not walking out the door every day with a Strikeforce Energy packet in your pocket, then shit's fucked up, man. I wouldn't trust yourself out walking around in the day with something like that. Is it important to conceal and carry? You bet it is. Number 2 on that list is having a little packet of Strikeforce on you. Go to StrikeForceEnergy.com. It's a tasty, tiny little tin pouch full of energy. You can just rip it open, pop it in your drink, and you're fucking good to go. You know what? You don't need a can anymore. You can kick the fucking can. You can get Monster out of your life. You can get Kickstart out of your life. You can get Red Bull out of your life altogether. Go to StrikeForceEnergy.com. Just get a 10-pack. Try it out. See how you like it. It's only 99 cents a pack. It's almost like you're fucking stealing that shit. Also, they ship everywhere in the entire world. They get a subscription of the month club, and they get a 750 milliliter bottle. That just, that'll sit on your kitchen top or your bar top. You can just pop a couple squirts in your drinks, and boom, boom, you're on your way. Go to StrikeForceEnergy.com. Use the promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. Again, that's StrikeForceEnergy.com. Use the promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. Now we're getting into the show. We got Alanna Ubach here, kids. Me and Jared Taylor interviewing her live from LA. Sit tight.
You're awesome.
I was sitting in post production. We just finished a movie, Jared and I.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
but
you.
after 90, it's like fuck it.
What's
and
the movie called?
You just keep getting fatter. Drinking Bros Live, the Shaved Eagle tour.
Oh, nice.
So this show has gotten so big that we filmed a live tour over the summer as a movie. Comes out at Thanksgiving.
Oh my God, you guys!
I know.
Yeah.
I
Are you
know.
ready?
on.
Now
I know.
you're on.
I'm
You're
so
going to be
ex-
right on the show right as this thing drops.
Right
you
as
guys
this
are
is coming out.
I'm
Yeah.
so fucking excited. For
I know.
You guys.
We have, by the way, that sweet, lovely voice you hear is Alanna Ubach. One of the best. You're my favorite comedy actress of all time, by the
Are
way.
you kidding me?
Dead serious.
That
I
makes
mean,
me
I've
kinda
said
wanna
this.
cry.
I've said this forever. I put you in everything that I possibly could have.
Ross, I fucking love you. He and I I had the yes, I was honored to be working with Ross in a movie that was called
Helen Keller versus Night Wolves. You're welcome.
Yes,
And that
yes,
is
that's
where I
right.
met her.
But
the first
Stuntman
time.
is
Yes.
where we met. Stuntman is where we met.
We
And
did.
Yes, that's right.
We did. It was a movie called Stuntman. It was a bunch of celebrities in it, and there was a role. There was 2 roles open.
Yeah.
And I went in for a table read and crushed, and they were like, "Hey, we want you to do this because you improv'd it." And
I still haven't
and went
seen
away
this.
with a
Oh
script.
my God. Winona Ryder,
I haven't
right?
seen it. No.
No, that's Darwin Awards.
Oh,
That's
okay.
another movie, Darwin Awards.
I've not seen
But anyway,
Stuntman.
so I there was another role left, and they were like, "Hey, is there anybody that can improv like you?" And I was like, "Actually, there's this one girl for 10 years that everybody's like, dude, you guys are like fucking besties, cousins. You got to get her as Alanna Ubach." And I was like, "All right, great." So I told this director, I was like, "Hey, get Alanna Ubach. Everybody said she's fucking the funniest girl on the planet." And I wanted to work with her. So the day you came on a set, I didn't have a scene with you. I stayed and watched your scenes, and I was like, "Oh my God, she's as brilliant as I heard."
Dude, I loved your improvisation in this one scene where basically what happens is Stuntman is about all these stuntmen. It's like almost like a
Stuntmen in
mockumentary.
Hollywood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stuntmen in
Is
Hollywood.
this out?
Yeah,
Does
it's
this
out.
exist? I need to see it.
It's really
it's
fun.
not that great.
It's not great, but it's such a cute
It could have
concept.
been.
YouTube?
It could have been,
Hilarious.
yeah.
Well, Ross, of course, he had the opportunity of improvising, and so there basically what happens in the scene is there's an award show going on for stuntmen, and Ross's character, of course, he's this like cowboy, really, here's my dick. Large and in charge balls.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and he doesn't win the award. But basically, the guy who's winning the award says, I really just want to give a shout out to my friend. And if you have anything to say, and Ross gets up and he's like, take the girth of my cock and shove it up your ass. And he wasn't supposed to say that, but he had this giant cowboy hat on. I thought he was the funniest motherfucker.
And then I walked out of the room. I
met.
flicked off everybody in the
Oh
room
my
and walked
God.
out.
Just
It
walked,
was so
and this
good.
wasn't in the script or anything.
No, nowhere
Do you
near
have
it.
anything to say?
I just, you know what? I completely and totally respond to people that have the embarrassment chip missing in their brain.
It's perfect.
And
Yeah.
there's nothing you people like you, Mr. Ross, come every like 25 years. And that's it. You were swimming in your dad's balls at one time, and you were born. And people like him come every 25 years.
This is our key.
It's
This
like
is our
Haley's
key to
Comet,
the
man.
Kevin game. This is our key to the Kevin game.
What's key to the
this
Kevin?
one will do
Who's key?
Kevin.
Who's
Tell her,
Kevin?
yeah.
What's going
Okay,
on?
so we've come up with a game, and no one has done it yet.
Okay.
It's called
Drink every time you
Fuck
see a
You,
Kevin Hart.
Kevin. No.
Fuck you, Kevin?
Yes. So you're leaving the airport, and as you're walking out of security and you pass TSA where people are stuck in line,
Fuck you, Kevin.
you pick one person in that and you unload on them. Like, I
Fuck
guess
you,
this is
Kevin.
it. Oh, I guess you're flying back to San Francisco to be with that whore, motherfucker. I guess it wasn't enough that I licked your fucking asshole the other night.
Yeah.
I thought that would have sealed a deal between us. And then you just like, fuck you, Kevin. And you bounce.
Yeah, you
Oh,
bounce.
my
Like,
God.
and now
And
there's
you get one person to film it.
that's just like, I don't
And they're
know,
stuck.
I don't know who that was.
They're stuck in the
line.
TSA line,
Like,
and it's just like,
everybody's looking at them. You just single them out.
That's our
Like,
dream, is to film that
Yes.
once, ruin this guy's entire flight, his
It's
whole
called
experience,
Fuck You, Kevin.
and then you walk out. Because if you film it on a phone, they'll never know.
Oh
Yeah.
my God,
And it's
that's
just
so
called Fuck
good.
You,
Just-
Kevin. It's
it
just
would go
like, hey.
viral
Oh,
as fuck.
fuck
too.
you, Kevin.
Fuck you,
Fuck you,
Kevin.
Kevin.
So good. You know what I used to do? We would never fall through with it when I was a little kid, but like when I'd be coming out, and people have obviously like chauffeurs have the signs out. That, this is for Mr. McConnell,
Mr. Thompson.
Mr. Thompson.
Yeah.
And then you and I are walking out. I'm like, Mr. Thompson, it was so nice to meet you. Take care. And then you just leave with that fucker.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Are you Mr. Thompson?" "Yeah, Mr. Thompson." Then you just go ahead and
you
you
just
have a
bounce
free
on
ride
that.
home.
Yeah.
No, that's wrong. They gave you that address? No, oh my God, no, that's my office's address. You're actually going to McCaden Place. So that was fantastic. You get a free ride home.
When
That's
I
how you
went
do
to
it.
Costa Rica, there was a guy with a sign that said Lord Hot Dog.
Oh,
Lord,
yeah.
oh, that's so
his
good.
nickname.
That's
That's
my
his nickname.
nickname.
Is Lord Hot Dog.
Hot
He's a
Dog.
big hot dog
I'm
eating
a
guy.
hot dog guy.
Big dog
Did
eater.
Ross tell you
Big
to bring
dog
hot
eater.
dogs?
No, I brought
Because
chorizo though.
We were
Oh
talking,
yeah,
we were,
chorizo.
Spicier girl.
Oh,
we were talking about that. I said you could have called her and told her to bring dogs.
yeah.
Oh,
And it's like, dude, we're
hell yeah.
not bringing hot dogs we're not bringing hot dogs over. He's had enough hot
could've.
dogs. He's had enough hot dogs in his life.
There's just not enough hot dogs.
Well, you guys
Yeah,
are like
you're
a
good to go.
block north of Hollywood Boulevard. I'm sure you've had your fill.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Not yet. I
Had
had
your fill, Phil?
McDonald's.
yeah. He had McDonald's, but he's
D's.
getting dicked later.
I mean, I had a light McDonald's. You know, it was,
Yeah, very light, very light.
Yeah.
By the way,
Six-piece
kids,
chicken?
Alanna is one of our favorite actresses. You might know her from Waiting, all of the Legally Blondes.
yeah, but waiting,
right.
she flashes full bush.
Full Bush.
Yeah, I do.
That's full bush waiting.
It was.
Meet the Fockers.
Yes.
Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce.
Yeah.
Is it over yet? Has it ended? or?
It has ended.
Yes.
We have.
Have you had
the
a
last,
true divorce?
What?
Have
What's
you
me?
ever had a real divorce?
I have not had a real divorce.
I'm on two, so.
Oh, good for you. Good for you, Liz Taylor with a cock. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No, I was Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce came to an end. We found out that the series would be coming to an end, but the last season still hasn't aired, and I think it's going to be airing in January of 2018. So there you go.
Because you guys shot back to back 2 seasons, right?
Yeah, back to back actually, yeah, we went up to season 5.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
a good run.
Long
few laughs,
time.
A few cries, man. 3
You-
years
You
in
replaced
Vancouver. Fuck.
Janine
5?
Garofalo.
I did. I replaced her. She was not happy on the show. She left, and I was like, "I'll
You're
take her
better than
sloppy
her.
seconds."
Yeah.
You're better than her.
Well, I ain't no
You should have been.
dumbass. Take the
You
money
should
and
have been
run.
in Wet Hot American Summer.
Why not?
Yeah.
I'll
You
take
would have been
it.
way better.
I mean, look, I'm shorter.
Janine's
I'm more
sour.
brunette. No,
We'll get
She's,
into Alana's career because, like, with you personally, you are so funny and you change roles so much. You also
Thanks,
do a
man.
bunch of voiceovers in
I do.
everything in their mother. You were in what was the one with Johnny Depp? Rango?
Rango. I'm coming out in Coco, which comes out the same day as your movie on Thanksgiving. Coco.
Coco's
Yeah.
coming
The
out.
Pixar film. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really fun.
She does a ton of voiceovers.
How was that?
It was amazing. I mean, what's really wild is that Pixar is. They're very. I mean, it's like the Pentagon.
Did you go to
When
San Francisco for that?
Yeah, I went to San Francisco.
Jeez, it's
When
like
you go
the
to
Pentagon.
headquarters, Oakland, and it's wild, man.
Actually, I got my start with somebody from Pixar.
Really?
Absolutely. It was a guy that was in charge of security at Pixar, and he got the Apple discount for 25% off. And when I got my first bonus, he said, "Hey, I'll give you my 25% off. Buy the best computer you can
What a
buy."
sweet guy.
Yeah.
Come
I
on.
mean, that's where I
Jared,
started.
Jared has blown up from.
Never been a-
He made his own
never met a
videos,
man in
edits his
security
own
I didn't like.
videos.
Yeah. No way.
Yeah. There's sketches. By the way, there's sketches online. You haven't had one under 10 million views. And
Are you fucking kidding
Oh,
me, man?
hey, they've got one that's 48 million.
What?
No,
Yeah.
we have a 60.
I didn't know
66.
48 million
Oh yeah,
people exist.
66. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, where have I
66 million,
been? I'm in a goldfish bowl.
yeah. You're in a bubble.
It's
you're in a bubble.
wild. I'll be
But
damned.
you look, you've always been one of my favorites. I'm surprised. We've had this conversation before about Saturday Night Live.
Oh God.
I'm surprised you didn't get Saturday Night Live.
I'll tell you the story.
But you have an interesting story about it.
It's
yeah.
a great story. I was dating a guy at the time. We know who he is.
Oh, we do.
a dude?
Yeah.
It was
And
definitely
and
a dude.
He was a comedian, and he said, "Alanna, you've got to get Saturday Night Live. They're interviewing people all over again." And I said, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, you should do a tape." And I said, "Okay." So I went out. And I had a wig made that was half Angelina Jolie, half Jennifer Aniston. And I had my friend film us, basically, Jennifer Aniston and Angelina Jolie having a fight with each other. So I was half one person, and then I'd turn, and then I'd be the other person. So that was really fun. And then I was Dora the Horror Explorer. You know, this 1-800 number that you call what Dora the Horror Explorer. And so I had this funny little Dora Explorer wig done. It was all about funny wigs. And then The other one was I don't know, just bits and pieces of characters from my one woman show that I did called Patriotic Bitch. So I superimposed those, sent over the video, and of course my boyfriend at the time knew everything about SNL, and he was like, "Listen, Lorne Michaels loves the Rolling Stones, so please have Lawrence Rolling Stone music coming up the moment it says Alanna Ubach, and then you can show the reel." Well, obviously, Marcy Klein really did respond to it, and I get a phone call saying, "We want to fly you up, and we want you to audition for SNL." Now, for SNL, you basically have to have it's got to be like 5 to 10 minutes of 3 original characters,
tops,
3 original characters, and 3 well-known characters that you have to come
impressions.
up with. Impressions. So I basically honed it. What did I do? I got a hold of like the head administrator of Second City, and I said, "Hey man, I need you to. I'm going to pay you to help me hone this into like a mini one-woman show, where one character sort of bleeds into the next, and we'll have sound effects and all of that fun stuff with it." So I did, and I had costumes, I had everything. I flew out. I probably rehearsed this like 5-minute thing about 70 times before finally going in. And they bring you in, and there are absolutely no laughs when you walk in. Lorne Michaels, and I'm sure everyone else was there, and I did everything, and I did the Angelina Jolie, Jennifer Aniston thing. I was finished. I bowed. I walked into this tiny little cubicle where you're sharing all of these tiny little dressing rooms with everyone else. And then I overheard Kristen Wiig at the time come out and say, "Was I nervous this time?" And Marcy Klein said, "No, you were great. You were great." And then Marcy Klein comes into my room and she says, "Wait here." And I thought, "Wait here? Oh shit. Oh shit."
This is it.
He wants to talk.
This is it.
Yeah.
And I sat there, and there was a phone. And there was a phone in my dressing room, and I could actually call someone. So I called my mom, and I was able to call outside 9 and then dial a number. And she was like, "Hello." I was like, Mom, they want to keep me here for SNL. She was like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, I think they just want to talk to me or something." She was like, well, you show them what you're made of, mija, and you do your thing. I was like, "Okay." And I sat there and I waited, and they waited for Kristen Wiig to leave. This was her second audition because the feedback for her first audition was she was too nervous. And then she went in and she did it again. So I think she established a rapport with them. She was sweet. She was humble.
Sure.
They got to know her well. So then Marcy Klein comes and knocks on my door, and she was like, "Would you like a tour of the studio?" I said,
"No way."
Yeah, I'd love a tour. So they take me out, and they showed me where the big, huge tower, the clock falls, and they showed me everything. And they were all trying to talk to me, and I was in such shock that it was really hard for me to have a conversation with these people. I didn't know how to be, because I was so obsessed with...
In awe of all of...
Yeah.
Because the pictures are up on the walls.
Yeah.
Of every famous... Like Eddie Murphy, Chevy Chase, Bill Murray.
Yes. And I'm so
and you're like, I could be one of them. I could be one of them.
Well, fuck you guys. I'm so used to auditioning, and I'm so used to getting rejected that I thought, oh my God, they're going to want me to do it over again. And so I was in the mode of getting ready to do it over again. So I was in the mode of about to perform.
Yeah.
So as I was talking to them, I probably looked, like a fucking idiot, because I was just sort of going over everything again in my head, because I thought they were going to say, "Could you do that over again?"
Yeah.
And they didn't. They just wanted to meet me, and they said, "Listen, can you stay over the weekend because Lorne wants to meet you on Monday?" And I said, "Absolutely." So for the entire weekend, I'm writing like different skits and ideas and stuff like that to pitch him. Finally, I show up on Monday, and I get there at like maybe 12 noon, and Lorne sees me at 5 in the afternoon. I'm
5 hours you waited in the waiting room.
5 hours I waited in the waiting room, and I thought, they're trying to test me.
Yeah.
This is cool. Bring it on.
What'd you do for 5 hours?
Marcy Klein at one point brought me into the writer's room. They gave her dirty looks when I walked in. She was like, "Oh, this is Alanna, by the way. She wants to say hi." I was like, and they gave her dirty looks like, "Why the fuck are you coming in,
right.
bothering us?
We're doing our fucking job."
We're doing our fucking job.
Yeah.
And they were being nice, whatever. And I sat there, and there was a TV there. So I thought, okay. And I watched Oprah interview Jennifer Aniston.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, because it was during the breakup, right?
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous. But I sat there and I was just like, wow, I can sit here for 10 hours. I've been on plane rides. This is fine. Yeah. I'm cool. Yeah. I'm cool. And finally he comes out and he's like, "Alanna, come on in." And we sat there and he said, "Are you in a movie that's called, are you in Meet the Fockers that's coming out?" And I said, "Yeah." And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, I want to tell you something. You're one of those faces where people say they know you. No one knows your name yet. He was like, but when people say it, they're like, "Oh, that was the girl from this, that, and the other."
Right.
He's like, "We only like to bring in original people that have been just discovered by us."
Right.
He was like, "So,"
Because you've done 30 movies at that point.
I had done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So he said, it would be very tricky to hire you. Do you understand? He was like, it wouldn't make sense if we brought you on SNL. He was like, we did that with Anthony Michael Hall, but he was also very huge.
No,
back then.
that's
I was like,
bullshit
that's-
because they did it with Kenan Thompson.
yes.
Yes.
Fuck yes, they
And
did.
he
Fuck
said
him.
And he said
Yeah.
it didn't work. It didn't work. He was
It
like,
did
didn't
though,
really,
because
but I thought
Kenan's
so
still
too.
doing
He,
it.
by the way,
There you go.
he holds the record now after this year. He is the longest tenured member of
This
Saturday
is
Night Live.
why I
you
think
kidding
No,
me?
all
sev-
these
17
executives
seasons.
to me are bullshit because they make up bullshit.
They
Yeah.
do make up
They
bullshit.
make up bullshit that doesn't make sense, and nobody ever's like, "Hey, that's stupid."
I don't understand. I never, whatever. But then Kristen Wiig, who actually introduced herself right before I went into the audition, she was just like, "Oh, my boyfriend and I really love you. We saw you in the Brady Bunch movie." I was like, "Oh, thanks." I was like, "Who's this skinny bitch?"
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I like
Fuck her.
Kristen Wiig.
She's not gonna get this,
Am I
and
not-
she ended up fucking. Now she
got
owns
it.
the world. Now
She
she
got
can
it.
buy me.
And then, yeah, exactly. And now,
You know.
but a mutual friend of ours, Edie Patterson, she's been up for it for years. She was friends with Kristen. She's friends with her 6 best friends have all made SNL, and she has not. And it's like she's another one who's crazy talented. She's on Vice Principals now on
Good.
HBO.
Thank God. I just want to know that she's working.
I know,
That's it.
I know.
You know what I mean? I mean,
And
I
that's
just,
the way you
just-
feel, where you're like, dude,
Fuck, man. And I had a feeling, it wasn't going to, he was just like, "But we'll think about it, Alanna, and thank you so much. It was wonderful meeting you."
That's
I
a
was like,
bullshit answer,
I
though.
promise, man, I
Yeah.
won't let you down if you hire me. And he was like, at this point, he was just like, it's not about the Gilda Radners and the Chevy Chases anymore. It's about really catering to the celebrity of that.
Yes.
Saturday.
And now the show, by the way, if you watch it today, is all celebrities. So you have Alec Baldwin playing Trump.
That's it.
You have Melissa McCarthy coming in playing Sean Spicer.
Yeah.
It's not about the cast anymore.
It's not about the cast.
And guess what? Nobody watches it.
Yeah,
Everyone watches it.
the
Everyone
ratings
loves it.
Yeah, the ratings this year because of the politics have been high, but
But
you're
still,
watching
when
it for the
they go to
celebrities, not the
online-
cast.
Yeah.
bombs.
It's not the way it was back in the 80s, and it's just really wild because I started out as that kind of actor when I was like 10 years old. And then, you get thrown by the demands of the business, and you end up, it's the 80s,
thing.
and you do what you have to
5
fucking
years.
do to get
Millennials
hired.
don't watch Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
watch YouTube.
And
Yeah, they
Make
wa- yeah.
YouTube videos.
Make YouTube
Yes.
videos.
Yeah, no.
Guess what?
No.
And then
All
in
it's about.
it's like, oh, who?
It
Right, right.
it does
They're like,
not
no,
pay.
we like her.
Wild, man.
It does not
now,
pay.
And now Vine is out of
They're out of business,
So fucking
and
weird.
it's crazy.
Right?
It's crazy. So, how old were you when you got started? Were you a child actress?
I was 3 years old when I told my mom I wanted to be on Romper Room. And my mom back then, when you have
My aunt was on Romper Room.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No way.
She was on Romper Room, and you're on for like 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
And my aunt's was like one of the guests, one of the kids.
Yeah.
She had a dress on, couldn't keep it closed the whole time, and they were on camera. So my grandmother told her, she was like, "You're gonna have to close your legs to be on Romper Room." 5 days straight, she just sat there on the show. her
People were
legs
shopping
open.
at the Gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I went on, and Miss Marisa, who's like the first Latina hostess to be in the franchise of Romper Rooms, she looked at me and she went up to my mother, and of course, God, even like the hostess of Romper Room has an indie to do during her hiatus.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Your daughter and I look so much alike. Would she like to play my daughter in this indie movie called Los Alvarez that I'll be doing during my hiatus?
Shut the fuck
And
up.
I was like, yeah, I will. I'll do it. And my mom looked at me and she was like, yeah, Alanna, you want to do it? I was like, oh yeah, Mom, I want to do it. So we drive up north, and I'm in Los Alvarez, and Henry Darrow, who was a big Mexican actor at the time, played my father, and Miss Marisa played my mom, and I just loved it. I loved getting up at like 5 a.m. with the chickens and getting all this attention.
Going
and
to
being
sad,
around.
everybody's
Going
catering
sad.
to you, yeah.
Everyone's an adult. And I kind of felt like an adult. And, you know, my sister was 11 years older than me. My mom and dad waited for a long time to have me. So I was always around adults. And my mom looked at me when we were driving back. She was like, well, Alanna, did you have fun? And I don't remember saying this, but my mom said that I said this. And I was like, Mama, this is my life. I want to do this forever. And she just thought, oh my God, what a funny little midget. And then this is so stupid, but Christmas time comes around and we're at Stonewood Shopping Center in Downey, and my mom basically sits me on Santa's lap, and Santa usually says things really loud so you can hear what your kid wants. And I'm sitting on his lap, and he's just like, what would you like for Christmas, Alanna? I was like, I want a stage. And he was like, oh, a stage for Barbie? I was like, no, Santa, stage for me. I want lights.
You want your own stage at this point.
I wanted my own stage. And my mom thought it was so damn funny. She told my dad, and this is what's really funny about having immigrants for parents. My dad was Puerto Rican, my mother's Mexican.
Yeah.
So my dad was just like, okay, I'm going to American Home Shopping Center, and I'm going to get wood. And he built like a little mini stage for me.
Wow.
So with like
in the backyard?
Yeah, in the garage.
In the garage.
So like funny little like Christmas lights around the rim.
Yeah.
And he built a stage for me. So for Christmas, I got a stage from Santa. And I would like put, you know, little shows on every Friday night. Like I'd give little flyers out to my mom and dad and my sister. And
Bringers. You were already doing bringer shows.
I was already doing bringer shows, man. And yeah, it was good fun. Like,
that's
way
a
to
dad
go,
right there.
Yeah, my dad was really cool. And his best friend was a carpenter. So they basically built the stage together for me, and they'd be the front. But my dad was a big gambler. And so he'd take me out to Las Vegas, like just the two of us under his arms, and he'd be doing crapshoots. And whatever he won that night, he'd take me to a really great show. And we'd have our prime rib dinner, and we'd be watching Captain and
back in the
Tennille.
day, a prime rib dinner in Vegas.
Hardcore.
That was the best.
Hardcore.
That was as high as you could go. You made it.
You could go, man.
That's serious. Yeah,
Prime rib.
He'd be there with his like blue suede jacket on, just like living the life. And we'd get like huge seats to go see Captain and Tennille and Charo and like the Osmonds, right?
Yeah.
And I said,
The
Dad,
Osmonds are still there.
Donnie and
still there,
Marie.
man.
Donnie and Marie, they're still
Donnie
fucking.
Marie, man.
They're still fucking, and they're still there.
They're still fucking and they're still there. God bless those. God bless them siblings. And so I think at one point I looked at my dad and I was just like, Dad, did they go pee? And he said, well, yeah, they go pee. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, they're real people. They have like careers and everything. They wake up in the morning and they rehearse and they do these things. And I said, wow. And I just remembered that I wanted to be the lights. I wanted to be the lights in the show. And I think that's so stupid and naive and crazy and weird. But I still want to be the lights.
Yeah.
In the fucking marquee or whatever. I never. It's hard to explain. But if you can carry, you know, the fucking passion that you had as a little kid, and you remind yourself why you decided to do it in the first place, you'll always work. Because I always remind myself, I just wanted to be the fucking lights when I was a little kid. I just
No, look,
I know that sounds so lame
it's not actually.
and gay.
It's a true statement because you come out here and you do a bunch of gigs,
Yeah.
and then you get jaded by a lot of people get jaded by the experience, and they
so
still
jaded.
don't get caught up in the magic of it.
Yeah.
And I had somebody actually remind me on a set, like after like I don't know, 13 or 14 movies, somebody came up to me and I had a shitty day. Like we all do. And I was just like, I had a shitty day.
Oh, God,
somebody comes up to me
darkness.
and they go, hey, you should take one moment out of how long the shoot is. I don't know how many days you're on the shoot, and just look around and enjoy this moment. And remember from when you were a little kid, how much you wanted to do this.
Yeah.
And it stuck with me. And I was like, all right, every single movie afterwards, I've taken one moment to stop by myself, breathe, look around, enjoy, take everything in. And I can tell you that one moment on every single movie ever since.
No shit.
Yes, and it's totally true. So like,
Ross, when did you know you wanted to do this?
I was young. I was super young as well.
You were a little kid?
Yeah.
I wish we were neighbors.
I know.
Oh my God.
We would've
That
crushed.
would be
The sleepovers.
We would have crushed.
Oh,
But
dude.
you take a movie we worked on, Helen Keller versus Night Wolves.
Yeah.
The one moment that I enjoyed myself the most was there was a tarp that was not properly oiled up for you to roll down. They had to throw some water on it. It was the last shot of the night.
Oh, yeah.
And you were supposed to get caught up in it and roll all the way down the hill. And it was miserable for you, miserable for everybody.
It's crazy.
You roll down this thing, pitch dark. You're rolled up in this tarp. Everybody around you is dying laughing. You look up at me and you're soaked and you were like, am I done? And I was like, yeah. We're done for the day. And like, I remember you were rolled up in all of this shit like a child. This is the shit that we did, is like dress up and as kids, where you're like, oh my God, we're making a movie and you're literally covered in tarp and rain. There's a fake wolf in front of you. Everybody's laughing, having a good time. There's car lights on because there wasn't enough lights.
Yeah.
We're shooting with car lights. It's super late at night. We've gone into overtime. And I was like, that was the one moment from Keller where I was like, all right, we're still pretending. I'm still with all my best friends. You were friends with Jesse. You made friends with Jesse on that shoot.
Yeah.
All of us were super close. And it was just one of those moments where like, oh my God, it was really funny.
Oh my God. No, dude.
And this is what we do for life. And even though, look, none of us made shit off of that. We didn't get him in the movie way for free. We loved it. Like it was a fucking blast. And
Ross, you'll always be that one kid on the block who has the best fucking video games and the best goddamn toys. And people will just keep on going to your birthday parties.
I know.
You got the Jumpy Gin.
One day
you got the best cake.
I know.
You got the chips cake.
Hopefully there'll be a budget behind it one day where it's like, all right, cool.
Hey,
everybody
call
can
them all
get paid
up, but we're not calling the fucking granola eaters that are up here.
Yeah.
We're calling all of our friends.
Yeah.
No, you have to. There's no other way to do it.
Because everybody asked me, like, we've done, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 movies together at this point. And everybody asked me, like, why do I hire the same people? Because they're great. I know what I'm getting, and I know you're going to knock it out of the park every single time.
Well, you know what's wild about it, and this is really funny.
And they show up and supportive.
Well,
yes.
And something about Ross is he just you've got great fucking taste, and I think there's something about. I think it has everything to do with taste. Is that if you grew up watching Mel Blancs? I mean, you're Mel Blancs on Bath
Mel
Salts.
Brooks, yes. Yeah.
Mel Brooks, Mel Blancs.
Mel Blancs is
who's my hero. By the way,
he's
oh
dead.
my God,
he's dead.
Yes, he is dead.
R.I.P.
But yes,
R.I.P. Mel Blancs.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'll say. But no, you're Mel Brooks on Bath Salts, and I think it's when you really find other people that really do gravitate toward the same sense of humor and the same comedy, and they grew up watching the same things. It's they're lifers, man. That's all there is to it. And I love you. God damn it.
Look, and I love you back. And I look again. I've been a huge fan for a long time.
Thanks, man.
And you're so good. Because you look at some people and you're like, man, why the fuck aren't they the biggest movie stars on the planet? With you, I know.
God bless you.
I know.
I've been almost famous like 17 times.
I know. But with you, I know the answer. With you, you're so good that you play characters and you are a chameleon in every single role that people can't remember that it was you. Like, I didn't know until we were good friends that you were the maid in Meet the Fockers. Yeah. I didn't know that about. Like, it's you were a totally different person altogether. I didn't know that was the same girl from Waiting. Then I didn't know that was the same girl from Legally Blonde. Like, each one of your roles, you disappear in like a real actor, not just like, oh, there's the same hot girl in all these fucking movies doing the same shit.
When I was 16 years old, I was lucky enough to land this rollerblading movie, and Seth Green played my boyfriend. Yes. No, Airborne.
Airborne. Yeah, not Grind.
With Jack Black when he was a little kid.
Yeah.
We were all in Cincinnati together, and I fell in love with Seth Green. And he and I went out for like 5 years. And
Seth Green?
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
I learned so much from him. He was my teacher. He told me, don't ever do the same thing twice. Alana, don't ever do the same thing twice.
Really?
Yes. He was the person who...
Did you ever do Robot Chicken?
No.
Really?
No, it was a very weird thing would happen. My dad died very suddenly. It was a very tragic death. We'll get into it one day when we're all wasted. But he and I was with Seth.
Yeah.
And I became very depressed, and I was only 19. And I looked at him one day and I said, "You didn't ask for this." And we kind of went off and broke up.
Yeah, went your separate ways. Yeah,
been very awkward every time we run into each other. It was like,
really,
I went a little crazy. after my dad died, and it was
A lot of people,
I got really,
but a lot of people do.
Yeah, but you just
and he was a
sounded
little
like-
kid. He was 20,
Yeah.
and he didn't know how to deal with his girlfriend who had lost her dad. But
Nobody
he
would at that
taught-
age, by the
Yeah,
way.
but
No
it
one
sounds
would've.
like
Come
you kind
on.
of dealt with it as an adult. Like,
I had
hey,
to.
hey, you didn't sign up for this. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be super fucked up, and this is like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't
like
want to.
you're gonna have to let me do that. Like
I
that
didn't
sounds
want him
like
to
a
see
good
me go
send-off.
crazy. I didn't want him to see me go crazy. And so but the one thing that I did get for it was so crazy, wild that when we were little kids, he was such a character actor, and I learned so much from him. Everything I learned as a character actress, I think I became a character actress because of Seth Green. It really? Absolutely. I just wanted to impress him.
That's
So,
really funny.
yeah, that's all I wanted to do. So I figured, well, if I become a character actor, I'll just impress him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then the sort of the trajectory of my life sort of went that it continued in that direction after we broke up.
Yeah.
And here I am. It's so crazy.
Yeah, but I mean,
I haven't seen him in years.
your
married to the-
IMDb
just this
credit list
hot
is
chick.
insanity.
Well, it's pretty wild. When I did Sister Act 2, Whoopi Goldberg told us, say yes to everything you get offered. So out of those,
That's still the truth today.
no, I always say out of those 300 fucking things that I've done, I maybe got paid on like 50 of them.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
don't
yeah,
let
yeah.
that fool you.
Exactly.
It's all about
Yeah, yeah,
saying
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine doing a USC film or an AFI film. Come along, you're playing a hot dog vendor
Yeah.
with 2 lines. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll show up because it's really, I love people. And so if you're you better love fucking people when you do what you do, because if you don't love people when you do what we do,
Yeah.
you're fucked.
Fucked.
You're around so many different people from so many different journeys for 14 hours.
60 a day. Where
60,
it's yeah.
And it's 60 people that you're working with, and you're going to sit down with them, you're having lunch with them, you're having breakfast, and you're going through shit with them, whatever, and you're in really bad weather, what have you, but you've got to really love people to do what we do.
You have to.
There's no other way to get around it.
You have to.
If you hate people, you're fucked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what would you say your first break was? Would you say it was Legally Blonde?
Legally Blonde, definitely. I hadn't worked for a really long time, and I had like a little.
How old
good,
were you when you got Legally Blonde?
When I was Legally Blonde, I was like 25, 26 or something like that, and we were all playing 18, which was really fun.
Hey, that was
He's done it.
Yeah.
So the movie that I was thinking of was Brink, but I've never heard of Airborne. I gotta go find Airborne.
Airborne,
yeah,
it was like
you'll find
Gleaming
it.
the Cube.
Jason.
It was Christian Slater.
Christian Slater, yeah.
Gleaming the Cube.
Gleaming the
It was for
No,
it
no,
was for skateboarding. What?
I'm thinking Dogma. Jason.
You're Jason Lee.
Yes.
Wrong guy.
No, Jason Lee was in Gleaming the Cube. He was a professional skateboarder.
No
Gleaming
way.
the Cube,
It
yeah,
makes-
but she was
it
in
makes
Airborne.
sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
And
makes
that was
sense,
his
man.
first movie. He went from professional skateboarding to movies, and then he went movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. But,
So you get Legally Blonde.
yeah.
Um,
I ended up. This is really funny. I hadn't worked in ages, and I find out that Reese Witherspoon, who I had done Freeway with years before, was the lead in Legally Blonde, and so I thought, well, she's pretty fucking short.
Yeah.
I'm short,
Yeah.
and if they need a best friend, I don't know anyone who's as short as I am. So I have a chance of booking this. So I walked in, and the girl who was running up against me was very tall, and I thought, well, that's going to be really hard to set up the shots.
Yeah.
With 3 girlfriends walking arm in arm, it's going to be really hard. So I walk in, and they had already cast Margot, played by Jessica Caulfield, and she was tiny. And I thought, oh, wait a second, this is really cool. So I met Jessica Caulfield, and every once in a while you look at someone and you're like, oh, they're kind of on my same wavelength.
Yeah.
I grabbed her and I was like, listen, man, I haven't worked in ages. I need a fucking job. She was just like, I hear you, sweetie. Mirror my movements. Just mirror my movements, and we'll make it look like we didn't really come up with it. I was like, that's a really good idea, and I was like, oh, I like this girl. And so
You guys became besties on that,
we
didn't
became
you?
besties.
Yeah.
She's now living in Ojai. She's got a beautiful little girl. I'm going to her kid's birthday party on Sunday.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am. And and so she and I mirrored each other's movements, and they really liked the way we looked together. And boom, I was hired. And we didn't think that Legally Blonde was going to be a big, huge hit the way it was. We just thought it'd be kind of a cute little movie that a bunch of kids would really like. But Jesus, We couldn't believe it. We were in shock. It became a big, huge hit overnight. You never know.
Ever.
Whatever you're doing, you never know if it's going to be a huge hit or not.
How was Reese Witherspoon?
She is probably one of the smartest, most intimidating people you will ever meet.
Do you send her the photos of wreaths with her?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you text her those?
Oh my God, I should.
Yeah,
I don't have her number.
Oh.
I mean, she and I are such professional friends.
Legally
you know what
Blonde, like my generation, that was huge.
Oh.
It was
like
huge,
my sister
but
loved it.
You've got to meet her in
I
person.
saw it.
Yeah, and here's the
like
thing.
the camera doesn't do her justice. She's a beautiful fucking woman. Like she kind of glows. She kind of has that Drew Barrymore thing going on where you meet her in person, you're like, damn, that bitch is fuckable.
Yeah.
Like she is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's intimidating when you talk to her. It's some people that are just so hot where it doesn't really sound like words are coming out of their mouth. They sound like,
sure.
You're right. You're right. That did happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People like that. She's intimidating.
But there's also there's also those people that you work with that you're like, I'm not going to be your best friend. I'm not going to text you. We're probably not going to call.
No, sure, of course.
And
well, it's the celebrity thing.
Yeah.
When they're really, really famous, it's very hard to kind of break through that wall. You don't want to bug them. You don't want to be that person that's just trying to be their friend because, at that point in their career, they probably are very untrustworthy of a lot of people around them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure they have enough friends and enough family members that, are close to them and all of that fun stuff.
Yeah. Jared, by the way, ADD Jared, texting and
my
Snapchatting.
sister is a huge Legally Blonde fan.
Are you kidding me?
I'm sending her photos right now.
Can we crank call her right now?
Oh, we will. Like once we're done with the show,
once we're done with the show.
FaceTiming my sister, she will die.
That's awesome.
Like,
for sure.
She will die.
God, this is so
she
cool.
just went to a Hanson concert last night. Like, I asked her,
Hanson's in town,
right? Be real.
What do they look like?
What was the crowd like? She goes, it was a bunch of 30-year-old overweight women. I was like,
yeah,
that is hilarious.
That's
exactly it. Like,
bop.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Hanson. That's Hanson.
That's
so
good.
you do Legally Blondes. They blow up.
Yeah.
And then what's next? Are you getting offers at this point?
Not at all. I still audition. In fact, I went out on 8 things since my kid, has been born. And I haven't been shit, man. I still audition, man.
You were the best there is, and that
audition.
is completely depressing to hear.
No, are you kidding me? Everyone still has to audition now because Nicole Kidman is saying yes to TV.
To TV, yeah.
What kind of bullshit is that,
Jennifer
man?
Aniston's doing TV.
Oh,
listen,
my God.
I have a hunch about
Reese
Jennifer Aniston.
Witherspoon's doing TV.
She's doing
it's
TV,
so
yeah.
scary.
I have a hunch about I've always had a hunch about Jennifer Aniston.
She's got a dick.
I think she's no. I think she smells.
Really?
No.
Yeah, that's the only explanation.
I've smelled Jennifer Aniston. She doesn't smell.
No, I'm talking.
She's delightful.
I think she's
I'm talking
gotta be.
smells.
She's delightful.
Really?
I'm talking smells.
Oh, she's got to be heavenly, bro.
Listen, no,
Yeah.
because look at her relationship history. Something's off that we don't know about.
Let me tell you something. There are 2 kinds of guys: the ones that like pussy and the ones that don't. And I don't care if it smells or it doesn't. You go for it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
But still,
I don't care if
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston's pussy smells.
That is completely true.
If you're
if
you're
your
a man who
third,
likes pussy,
fourth
doesn't
time,
matter.
you're like, I can't do this. I've tried.
Well, nothing a little antibiotics can't take care of,
No,
right?
no.
I'm sure
You're good on that. I think
Hey.
Jennifer Aniston was the opposite, where I think she wanted to be famous, and like her again schedule all that shit.
Well,
It's
her
a
dad was
nightmare
an actor.
Yes,
right.
It's a nightmare to deal with, and so think about it: if you and your husband had the same exact schedule, you wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Because it's too much. 2 people on that type of schedule, it's too much. So you date a Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
You're gone. When do they see each other? Fucking 10 days out of the year.
Yeah. It's got to
too
be
much.
a really weird relationship. And
The guy she's with now, that Justin Theroux, he's a good actor, but he works, here and there sparingly, but he's a great writer. So he's writing a lot of shit. He wrote Tropic Thunder and all that stuff.
So he's home.
Yeah. And that makes sense.
He's home and they see each other
Yes.
and they can hang. I get it. I have a feeling she's a really cool chick. I used to go to acting school with Angie Voight at the time.
Really?
When she was a little girl.
She was going by Voight then.
She was going by Voight, Angie Voight, and she had, and I always say this really fun when your features are just a little too big for your face
Yeah.
when you're a little kid, right after puberty. But she really looked like that Muppet. Like for sure, man. She really looked like that one, right?
Yeah.
The blonde with like the really big lips and this like tiny little bubble butt, and she was really cute and painfully shy, and it was just really wild. That anyway,
It's funny.
amazing that she became who she is. So wild.
So when did Waiting come along? Was Waiting far after Legally Blondes? Or?
Waiting was far after Legally Blonde. I had it was just one of those meetings where I found out that it was I didn't read the script, but I found out that it was like Dazed and Confused in a TGI Fridays, and I thought, oh, that's really fun. So it's very conversational. It's a talkie film.
But
It's
that
an
was
indie. This
one
is
of those
cool.
ones though. You've told me a story about this where it was the pay to play, and they didn't think it was going to go, and then it was like, we
For
have
Ryan
to do
Reynolds,
this in
yeah.
20 days.
Yeah. So
Like,
Ryan
and it's like,
True.
go,
Absolutely. Yeah.
throttle.
and Ryan Reynolds
Throttle,
was
yeah, for
attached
sure.
for a
Yeah.
while. He pushed it for Blade Trinity.
Yeah.
Blade Trinity shoots. He comes back and does that, and they were like, "Great, we're gonna shoot this whole fucking thing in like 3 weeks, right?"
Yeah.
It was Rob McKittrick and
Rob McKittrick.
yeah.
Right. And all those cats.
But it ended up being a cult classic, like to the nth degree.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so
And
much fun.
You did a sequel, right?
We did a sequel.
Yeah.
We did a sequel. Oh my. We did a sequel.
Did
and
McKittrick do the sequel, or was that somebody else?
McKittrick wrote the sequel, and it was directed by Jeff Bayless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Project Greenlight.
From Project
Jared?
Greenlight.
Yes.
Greenlight, yes.
Yeah.
Greenlight.
The redhead from
Yeah.
Project Greenlight.
That fro, man.
But you crushed in that.
It was a lot of fun, and it was really it was just so weird. I had seen Paul Giamatti in American Splendor, and I thought, I'm gonna make the character after that guy. This is good. This is gonna be great. And then I had seen Yosemite Sam. I always watch like a little cartoon character or something to kind of give me some sort of inspiration. I was like, if I got Yosemite Sam and Paul Giamatti's character in American Splendor, and I
Was
put them
Paul
together, I'm gonna make
Giamatti
Naomi.
in Blank Check?
Was Paul Giamatti in Blake? That's a good question.
I don't know.
Let me-
Jared,
I'm not
you,
sure.
you bring up
Look
the
it up.
weirdest
I'm
fucking
honestly-
movies.
I don't know, but
I
if he
think
was in Blank Check,
Here's
then
a fun-
I love you.
Alana, here's a fun fact about
yeah.
Jared. He watches like the weirdest fucking movies that
Okay.
nobody knows about. And
Oh,
it's like,
wow.
oh, hey. Do you know?
So-
It's the. You remember All Dogs Go to Heaven?
Yeah.
It's the grandfather in All Dogs Go to Heaven. And you're like,
Wow.
dude, come on, fuck off, bro.
Are you kidding? So you watch all the movies?
Miguel-
He watches
you watch
everything.
the B-sides of movies.
Is who I thought I was thinking of.
Yeah,
Sorry.
nowhere close.
I'll be
Same
damned.
with your call earlier, Jared. Like
What?
nowhere close on these people.
Ross.
Karen Duffy was in Blank Check.
Oh,
I fucking
God
love
bless.
that girl. I love Duffy.
Yeah.
Ross, if you could be anything else besides what you're doing right now, what would you be? It
Um,
cannot be anything that has anything to do with the entertainment industry.
in the entertainment
Yeah,
industry.
what would you do?
I would be. Somebody's asked me this before. I would be. I would have originally said basketball. Like I want to play basketball.
Yeah.
I was really good as a
well, you're
youth.
tall as fuck.
Well, yeah. And here's what happened: is I got to ninth grade.
Yeah.
It's tall as fuck. It was dominating everybody. It was awesome. Nobody had told me like, "Hey, you're white and you can't."
Jump.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to play with these guys.
Right.
So I was in like the AAU, the traveling leagues, and then this black kid named Sharif Abdul Rahim, who ended up playing like 10 years in the NBA.
Jesus.
Opening tip off, it's me and him versus the tip. He gets the tip. I backpedal down court to try to guard him. I look up, and his dick and balls are hanging in my face. He's
Fantastic.
hanging on the rim. He had just dunked over me,
Oh my
knocked
God.
me to the ground, and I'm laying on the ground, and I just see a large set of black man's dick and balls in my
Wow.
face. And I'm no lie, Alanna. I went back because we were staying at University of Georgia and their dorms,
Right.
and I went back to University of Georgia, and I pulled out like an old notepad. Like the black and white composite, like fucking, standard notepad you get. And I go,
Yeah.
all right, basketball is out. What else are you great at? And I was like, I think I'm the funniest person ever. I think I was like, this. All right, I'm going to try to do this. How do I do this? Stand up, movies, start shooting stuff, all of that. But the other option was I wrote a backup down of like, hey, if that doesn't work out and you don't make it, what else are you interested in?
Right.
And it was investment banking. I've always had an interest in the stock market and how companies work, why they're
Right.
financially huge or not huge. Like, and that was my big thing. So I would definitely say that
you get off on stimulation. You have to be doing something
and
really
it's stimulation
stimulating.
like the market where it's every day.
Right.
So that way, very similar to acting, where you're going to get a yes or no at the end of the day. If a stock is doing shitty that day or good that day, either way, you're going to be watching the numbers, waiting for something. Yes,
it's a high.
Yeah, it's a big rush.
Like
sure.
that is where like my transition made was, with what we did in
from the military too.
Is you're calling in bombs every day.
You're from the military.
Oh yeah,
15 years.
I should have done my homework, man. Tell me about that.
Well, it was almost very similar to your Saturday Night Live story.
Really?
Yes. So I went into the Air Force to be like, I had signed in at 17 years old. My dad signed me in, and I was supposed to be a guy that loaded bombs on an airplane. I thought that was super gay. I was like, we're at war. We were first year into the Afghan war. I'm like, this is gay as shit. Like, I'm gonna go load bombs. This is super fucking dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Not taken away from everybody out there that is a bomb loader, but like to me, I was
you
like,
want to be in the trenches.
that was super gay. So I get to basic training, and they tell me like, oh, you could go to this briefing about this job the Air Force offers only when you're here, and that if you make it in, like they'll let you go. So we go to this meeting, and this guy comes in, like massive human, just walks into the classroom that we're all in. He's got Army patches on an Air Force uniform. He's got all these school badges on his chest. You're just like, what the fuck? And he was like, let me tell you what my job is. I'm sitting in Iran. I'm looking at an airfield that doesn't look good. And I call the airplanes, and I'm shooting a laser right at their fucking aircraft and their tower. He's like, and I guide those bombs in. And as soon as those bombs hit, I got 700 Army dudes behind me that are about to fuck that airfield up. I was like, this sounds amazing. Hi, I'm Jared.
Yeah,
I want that
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
So they give us this slip like, okay, if you want this job, you get to try out tomorrow. Here's your slip, because you're in basic training. So you're on lockdown everywhere, but he handed me the slip that got me away from normal shit to go try out for this. So I wake up the next morning. I drug 4 other people with me. Like, you have to try. We're doing this. We're all doing it. Like, we're going to go be this. And we all go to the tryouts. And I hand the slip to the TI. He lets us go. And we get to the whole setup.
Yeah.
And it's a PT test, smoke session, everything. But during the entire thing, like during the PT test, I'm doing a graded PT test. I'm like, what kind of sights do we get on our guns? And they're like, you can ask those questions later. I was like, but do we get night vision? And like I'm just asking all these questions and shit. And they're like, what the fuck's wrong with you? So when we're running our run for the PT test, every lap I come around, I have another question for the instructors. And they're just like, oh, God, what is wrong with these guys? Yeah. So when we finish, they don't tell you that day. They say, hey, all right, 3 weeks from now, on Thursday, you will know if you made. There was about 112 people that tried out. They go, we have 3 slots to the school. On Thursday, 3 weeks from now, you will know if you made it to the school. So I hid that slip that I had that got my get out of jail free card. And went back, did 3 weeks of basic training. That day, that morning, I flashed my slip like, hey, we got to go do TAC P things. And I've got my other 2 guys that survived that whole thing with me. And the instructor, the drill instructor, was just like, oh, yeah, go. So we walk to the personnel facility on the base, and it's 7 a.m. Well, they're not open. So we wait for them to open. They open at 8. We go into the building, and the receptionist is like, hey, what are you guys doing? I was like, I flashed my thing, and I was like, oh, we're waiting for the TAC P recruiters. They're like, all right, cool, have a seat. And we sit there until 2:00 in the afternoon.
Oh, shit.
8 a.m.
Same as Saturday Night Live, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
You're waiting there for fucking 9 hours.
Come
yeah.
on.
I'm playing this game. And
I'm in it now.
Finally, the receptionist is like, have they still not come? I was like, yeah. Could you call them maybe? Because I have no clue how to find these people or not. I just went to a place that was public, and she was like, yeah, let me get a number. So she leaves, she comes back, she calls, and she's on the phone right in front of us. She's like, no, you got 3 of them in here. I don't know why they're here. They've been here since 8 in the morning. So they had a meeting with you. Well, they're here. And then she hangs up the phone. And she's like, he's on his way. So this guy, his name is Sergeant Hayes, comes in.
My God, my heart's beating like a rabbit.
He goes, Taylor, what the fuck are you doing here right now? I go, Sergeant, I just really want to be a TACP. I don't want to fucking load bombs on airplanes. I really want to do this. I needed to know from you if I made it or not. And this guy has a bunch of papers in his hand. And he goes, yeah, you made it. And he points to me. He goes, but those 2 didn't. And then he looks at him and he goes, but I don't have to find these 2 guys now. Come on, let's get you some new paperwork.
Wow.
And now these 2 dudes.
Wow.
I lied my ass off to the military and got what I wanted, and then got a guy that is retiring this year
Balls.
as a TACP, as a
great.
1 Charlie 4
Yeah.
that would have
my
never
God.
been one if I wasn't being a shady fucker.
Oh, wow.
That's a beautiful story.
The other
man.
guy failed
God
while he was in
damn.
school because he injured his knee. So it was me and the other guy, but he got the contract because the dude showed up and he was like, well, no, I don't got to find these fucks. Like,
Oh my
you're
God.
here.
Oh my
Let's try
God.
that up.
God.
Crazy.
Oh God, what a great story.
So when you're
what a
telling
great story.
when you're telling me you're Saturday Night Live, I'm like, oh, I've done that.
Oh no! You,
I'll play the
I've,
game.
I've
I think
waited
we
for
all
9
know that
hours.
feeling.
Yeah.
You know, you all know that feeling, and I just thought to myself, oh my God, well, if what if there's a hidden camera and they're
first,
testing
for me though, every military selection, like every big military selection, they play these games with you. They'll tell you after you try out the first time, that was great, but not what we're looking for. That's a code.
So you're
Come back.
You're the same as Hollywood. Like you're in the same.
But that's the thing is they'll say these things like, like they're gonna see if you're gonna come back and give the same effort the next time. Like that's most of Delta. Like your first
Sure.
like throw at
Yeah.
Delta Force.
Well, I think
They don't select you.
Human nature, we're obsessed with rejection. We are obsessed
But
with
that
rejection.
is a perfect proof of character.
Yes.
And somebody that is not putting ego in their way. It's like, oh, cool. Well, you know what? This is what I want to do. So
Yeah.
I'll come here 9 times.
No.
If that's
You
what
leave
it
your
takes.
ego at the door. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. No. Bye.
And that's what proves to these people. Okay, that's the guy we want. The one that's like, oh, you guys didn't want me this time? Fuck it. I'll come back next time.
Right.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
God damn.
And it's one of those things where I think if you want to be successful in this life, you have to accept that there's a ton of rejection all the time.
Yeah.
And sit in a fucking lobby for 9 hours and wait it out.
Absolutely.
And try to do it.
Sometimes you have to.
Rejection
know.
is God's protection.
Oh God.
Oh.
God.
Yeah,
Could you, Magnum is God's protection.
Yeah,
like that's a
exactly.
Magnum condom is God's protection.
That's for damn sure.
But
Wow.
you look, you've done some like awesome in
Yeah.
your career.
Yeah.
What was it like working with Johnny Depp?
Johnny Depp is very thin. I think he's vegan. He
Tiny man.
tiny guy.
Yeah. Dainty.
And very dainty.
A lot of them are.
All of them are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really interesting when you meet them in person. You're just like, Jesus Christ, what a little shit. I can't believe it.
He's tiny.
He's a tiny little guy.
Yeah, tiny.
No
Look at
bigger than a
him.
minute.
He'll get up on stage and play with like Marilyn Manson and shit.
No, he's like an insect.
He's
Yeah.
He's
just
like an
small.
insect in flannel.
My friend
And-
was in all the Pirates of the Caribbean,
Really?
and he was like, "Oh, dude, Johnny's fucking little."
Yeah, he's like Perry
Yeah.
Farrell. He's like, they're very rock and roll. I mean, especially with the, and he was such a sweetheart, and he was like one of the crew guys. I mean, every once in a while you meet an actor who's just like, oh wow, they could be a gaffer or a dolly grip, and you know, they're cool.
Yeah.
They're cool.
Crazy.
They hang. You know, they're
They
good at
hang.
hanging. They're good at hanging.
That's what I've heard too. He'll hang
yeah, he's
He'll-
wine drinking
with the crew and everything.
Yeah,
like,
no, he sits and has lunch with everyone. And he's just cool.
yeah, but that's
Cool.
courtesy.
It should be.
Brother.
It should be, but it's
Like,
not though. It's not.
But that's
Yeah.
how we were on our
It's how-
film. Like
most people.
that was the biggest thing I heard from the. Wait, why are you talking to me? Because you're working on our movie.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it.
But
and you're working hard. Like you're sweating right now.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
You're working hard. We like that. Thank you.
Right. And I think there's also a side of a celebrity that thinks, oh, well, I'll probably make them feel uncomfortable if I do sit down at the table and then they'll be watching their P's and Q's and all that bullshit. So it's like a double-edged sword. It's weird. I don't know. It's interesting.
After all the things you've done in your career,
Yeah.
is there one dream role that you're like, dude, I would love to fucking do this?
I've always wanted to work with, Tim Roth.
Really? Tim Roth?
Tim Roth, of all people.
I like that.
Always-
That's an odd
it's
choice.
So weird.
Yeah.
Richard E. Grant, Hank Azaria.
Hank Azaria.
Hank Azaria is
No
my hero,
shit.
man. I think he's
He's another one who's a big voice actor.
Yeah, and he's just so fun. I'd love to work with John Turturro.
John Turturro would be badass.
Man,
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a lot of fun.
Is there anybody you'd like to play in like a biopic or anything?
Oh my God, a biopic.
Meredith Brooks.
Carmen Miranda, I think would be a lot of fun. I'd obviously have to wear a prosthetic nose.
Meredith Brooks. You could totally pull off Meredith Brooks.
Meredith, why not?
Why
I'll
not?
take it. But hey, I mean, a biopic. I mean, anything for God's sakes. But biopics are so hard, man.
They are.
My God.
But you're
Pressure,
great
the
at
pressure.
slipping into every character imaginable. Like I asked you to do a prostitute voice, and you did an old black woman.
Yeah.
I gotta hear
And
that.
I have a new book
Yeah,
coming out with Harriet Tubman.
I
I want
gotta
you to play
hear
the old
that
black
one.
woman in it.
I can't wait.
Can you do the black woman for us?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
I remember Teddy when he came across from me when we was doing this porno together, and I did, and he came up to me and he was just like, "I want to be your man," and I said, "I want to be your woman." And after a while, he started stalking me because I just know it's not. Isn't that crazy? I think
Oh,
you know
dude.
what it is? I think everybody wants to be black.
Yes.
Because they're the
have my
coolest
black character
motherfuckers in the world.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be black. Let
Yeah.
me tell you something. They are, because they're the fucking coolest people in the world. Why do you think the Brits are the best with music? Why do you think the Beatles exist? You know why the Beatles exist? Because their mom and dad said it was okay for them to listen to the rhythm and blues albums from America. Okay?
And you follow my Instagram. I do Freeman Friday, Morgan Freeman.
Oh.
I've always wanted to be
Because
Morgan
they have,
Freeman.
because
That's the best.
I'm not stereotyping. They are born with fucking great soul. They wear their soul, on their shoulders like a badge of fucking honor, and it's so intimidating. It's so goddamn intimidating.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're good at everything they fucking do artistically.
Artistically.
Everything,
Absolutely.
everything they put their hands on.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, it is what it is, man.
So after Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce, it's over.
Yeah.
Now, what are you working on now? Where are you going now?
After Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce is over, and now I'm pitching the show that you and I have kind of figured out
Absolutely.
here. That's going on, and Coco is a Pixar movie that I'm in, and I play a very important part in this Pixar film that's coming out.
They'll get a sequel.
During Thanksgiving. Oh God, I hope
it'll
so.
get a sequel.
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be amazing?
Boy.
Oh my God, that'd be really cool.
Boy.
Up for a couple of things. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Blah de blah. But it's always a struggle, man. It really is.
Uphill. And it
I have
sucks.
a 10-week-old at home.
I know,
and it's really
here's
wild.
the thing: for somebody as talented as you to hear it's an up, it's always a struggle.
Oh, I've clawed my
Makes
way
me
to getting little
like
things
so
here and
depressed. Like, yeah.
there.
Have you ever worked with John DiMaggio, by the way?
Oh yeah. We did Pound Puppies together.
Johnny D is one of my friends.
I love him so much. I love him violently.
Great voice actor.
Oh,
really funny.
he's just
Great guy.
The talent in his fucking pinky.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Yeah.
It's and he's just so up your Kirstie Alley.
He did a movie, by the way, about voice actors. I don't know if you saw it.
I
know this
I'm
voice.
in it.
Yes.
I was in it. Yeah.
But did you actually ever see it, like the finished product?
We did. Yeah.
Good.
There was a
Good.
There was a premiere at the Egyptian Theater.
Yes.
Around the corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love John DiMaggio. He's so much fun. What a hang, man.
Same. I've been
What
friends with
a
him
hang.
for 15 years. Great guy. Arguably the best voice actor in the biz. He plays Bender on Futurama.
He can do anything.
Anything.
He's like Mel Blanc.
Yeah.
He really is. He's right up there. He really is. How's he doing now? Does he have a kid yet?
He's married. I don't think he has a kid yet.
Oh, okay. I thought
But he just got married and like he enjoys life. There's nobody who enjoys life like that guy. Like,
oh my God.
Because a lot of people, you make money and you're afraid to spend it or do things like he'll go to Amsterdam every year. He'll go to trips with his wife. Like, we still stay in touch on Instagram.
Yeah, he's cool. He's a
in real
really
life.
cool
And
cat,
he called me about a director the other day and was like, "What do you think about this guy? Do you hate this guy?" And I was like, "I fucking hate this guy." And he goes, "Oh God, I hate this guy."
I figured.
Yeah.
No, he's good. He's so good.
But he's awesome.
No, I really
And you've got a 10-week-old now.
What's that?
How has that changed your life?
I have a what? A 10-week-old. Oh my God, it's crazy. We froze
You had
embryos.
a baby 10
I did.
weeks
As I
ago.
said to her,
I'm 42.
she's so thin.
No.
We froze embryos. We have like 5 kids on ice, and then I got pregnant like a month later naturally, which is so weird.
Really?
Yes, we had sex on October 27th, 2000 last year. I swear to God, because I was back and forth from Vancouver, and so we our love life was kind of going boot.
Yeah.
And so we did have sex on October 27th. I swear to God, 4 weeks later, I'm like, wow, why do my boobs hurt when I wake up in the morning and my
Why
period
am I all
is-
upset?
Why am I? Yeah, this is really weird. And so what happens? Lo and behold, I pee on a stick, and it was like, I'm in Canada, so it was like, une de deux semaines, enchanté.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think that means I'm pregnant, and I was, and that was it. I was pregnant throughout the whole last season of Girlfriend's Guide, and it was one of the loneliest experiences I've ever had. I don't think I'll get pregnant again. It was a very lonely, isolating experience. Yeah, for me it was. I think a lot of women are like, "Oh, I loved being pregnant. It was so much fun."
No, that doesn't sound.
No,
Like I eat a lot of Jack in the Box and I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I don't want to be pregnant.
I felt really alone. It was a solitary experience because no one else around me was pregnant. And I just felt sort of, I was all by myself in this whole thing. And I felt like a building under construction. It was sort of like, oh, okay, so this is what women do over and over again?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And having a vaginal birth was probably one of the scariest things I've ever done. It was the scariest thing I've
You have
ever
a
done in my
small
fucking life.
frame.
Yes.
That
very
is
small.
not a good.
Very small frame.
You should have
I-
had someone else do this for you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. What's really weird is I was like, I can't believe, like I would look in the mirror with my vagina like open and I'd be like, I can't believe a child is going to come out of this.
No.
How is he going to come out? I don't understand.
Where are you sitting when you're looking in the mirror like that?
Well, just, well, we have like this full frame
Full frame mirror, yeah.
mirror, this closet, and I would like open up my legs and like look in the mirror and saying, how is this going to happen? I'm so scared. And by the way, when you're in labor, all of a sudden you feel your pelvic bones start to open, like as the hours go by. You're like, oh my God, this is actually happening. I can actually do this. This is actually happening. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
Did you take the epidural?
Oh my God, did I ever?
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, give me the menu. I want drugs. I'm not a martyr.
Yeah. The people that don't, I'm just like, man, come on.
Oh my God.
Come on.
Why?
Are you kidding
Come on.
me?
Yeah.
Why?
No, I had never even broken a finger before, so I didn't know what my pain threshold was. And then finally, it's like the second hour of me being in labor, I was like, oh my God, give me the drugs. Are you kidding me? This is insane. And
Fuck this.
It was fuck that. It was crazy. Oh my God.
Well,
Been through it 3 times. Slept through it 3 times.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Now-
Just a quick nap.
Are you kidding me?
Jared's the father of the year.
Love that.
Father
Love
of the year. Treats his kids like lizards. And it's nice.
So damn cool.
So you're not going to have another one?
I don't think so, man.
No,
I mean, unless
no.
you'll have it for me, because boy.
I mean, look, I could do it rectally, obviously, but
oh God, I mean, do it. It's
but no.
insane.
You got one. That's fine. That's enough.
I've got one.
Yeah, that's enough.
You've never known exhaustion like you do when you have a kid. It is
Yeah.
wild, man. It is insane.
Those first 4 months.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm on month 3, and but the one thing that's so wild is that you wake up in the morning, you're like, wow, I've never met any human being where I'd be like, oh, I'll step in front of a train for this person. This is really wild.
Same.
But you'll get the flip soon.
Yeah.
Where it's like they'll just start sleeping,
Oh,
and you're
my
like, oh my God.
This is great.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
remember this now.
Wow.
I remember this now.
Wow, I don't know who I am right now. My brain is oatmeal.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, no,
It's
it'll all
tough.
come back, and it's a blast. And I personally love it. We were talking about it before.
God, I hope
before
so.
we
Yeah.
came on, and
You have like the most beautiful Aryan baby.
I know he's Hitler's dream. He's Hitler's dream.
Dream.
Blonde hair,
He
blue
really
eyes.
is.
When you look at him, you're like, oh, that's what he was trying to achieve.
Why?
That's what Hitler was trying to achieve.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, and you're like, all right, cool. He's gonna have a sweet life.
This is what it was all about.
Yeah, but I look at him and I'm like, man, god damn it, you're gonna have the best life. Like congratulations.
It's insane.
I know.
You
Oh
won
my
the
God.
life lottery.
Yeah, he
I
won the
mean,
gene
you're
jackpot.
gonna
That
be
kid.
hot.
Really did.
Yeah.
Life's
You're gonna go to a good school.
Absolutely.
Like,
A super good school.
I really started liking mine when they started liking riding motorized vehicles.
Really?
Yeah.
Jared wants his kids to be like motorsports,
Oh,
like
that's so
X
cute.
Games stars.
I
That's
need
so
him to do
good.
backflips.
Whereas mine, like I can already tell he's gonna be like making videos and fucking like a social media superstar.
Really?
That type of thing where it's like he likes to watch himself in videos and shit, and you're like, all right, cool. I see
All
where this is
right.
going.
All right. Yeah. Cool.
I
Where
see,
Charlotte's
I
like,
see where this is headed.
show me riding the dirt bike again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Keep going. You need to do a better
Oh,
job.
that's so
Yeah.
good. That's so good. I don't know
Yeah.
what I think my kid looks like Mark Anthony. He looks nothing like my husband. He looks
He
nothing
could
like me.
he could be a pop star, a Latin
he could
pop
be a
star.
pop star. He could be a Latin pop star.
A Latin
I have
fucking pop
no
star.
idea.
Oof.
Whatever. He's very textbook.
There is.
I mean, he's not colicky. Thank God. Oh my God. Was yours?
No.
Oh,
no
God.
colic.
See, he was good. He was
Dang.
good. Yeah.
Like
God.
3
right now,
months
my
in, you're
youngest,
good.
Yeah.
happiest baby in the world.
Oh
Like,
my
she-
God, you're
yeah.
lucky.
She doesn't give a shit.
Woo!
Like,
She's
Yeah.
just like a little potted plant, right?
yeah, just smiles.
So
Just
good.
a little plant.
It's
And
so
likes
good.
to hold food 24 hours a day. She's mine.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good.
You'll never
So
meet
good.
somebody holding food better than Jared.
It's so good.
Well, listen, I love you to death. You're my favorite on the planet, and I appreciate you
I love
stopping
you
by.
too, man.
I know you want to get back to home to your child.
I want to go to In-N-Out first, and then
yeah,
I'll go back
exactly,
to
and
my
then go back to your home, and your child, and everything. Alanna Ubach, one of the finest actresses we've ever had
Oh, thanks, man.
in
I
our
love you.
generation, and grateful to have you on the show. Thank you for doing it.
Glad to be here, man. Thank you so much.
We love you.
I love you.